Athens. International students found a way to celebrate a national holiday from thousands of miles away. And in sports, a look at Ohio women's basketball's historic day in Columbus. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Ben Schwartz. Thank you for joining us. Athens City Council is inviting community members to attend tonight's meeting to share their thoughts on a proposed ordinance that would rezone Court Street and other areas of uptown Athens. The proposal is all in an effort to add more housing options, which some are concerned could mean more congestion uptown. The meeting is on the third floor of City Hall and starts after Newswatch is off the air at 7 o'clock. We have a reporter on the scene and she'll bring the full story tomorrow. We'll be following the story and we'll have updates on radio, online at woub.org, and here on Newswatch tomorrow night. Two teens allegedly involved in the death of a woman at Hocking Hills State Park were released on bond Friday. Jordan Buckley and Jaden Church-Hughes were released to their families on a $100,000 recognizance bond following their arraignments. The teens must wear ankle monitors, submit to mental health evaluations, attend school from home through an online program, and have no contact with one another. They face murder, involuntary manslaughter, and reckless homicide charges following the death of Victoria A. Schaefer on September 2nd at Old Man's Cave. Pre-trials for Buckley and Church-Hughes are set for December 18th and 19th. Ohio's gun hunting season for deer is set to begin early next month. The short season runs from December 2nd through the 8th, with an additional weekend allowed December 21st and 22nd. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources Division of Wildlife says hunters killed more than 70,000 deer during last year's season. State officials advise hunters to check the 2019-2020 Ohio hunting and trapping regulations for county-specific bag limits. The Ohio Supreme Court is set to hear arguments to decide whether a law prohibiting gun owners from carrying firearms while intoxicated should be applied while inside a gun owner's home. Lawmakers for a Claremont County man arrested in 2018 after he acknowledged having an unloaded shotgun while drunk say the law is unconstitutional when applied to homeowners. The court has oral arguments scheduled for February 25th. A friend of the gunman in the deadly Dayton, Ohio mass shooting is expected to plead guilty to charges after he was accused of lying on gun forms and being in possession of a gun while using illegal drugs. 24-year-old Ethan Colley will be in court Wednesday. No details of the plea agreement have been disclosed. Investigators said Colley told them he bought the body armor, a 100-round magazine, and a part for the Dayton shooter's gun. Authorities say there is no indication Colley knew his friend was planning the August 4th shooting in Dayton that killed 9 people before the police killed the shooter.
Hello everyone, I'm forecaster Blake Cuddisley. Around the Athens area today, looked at pretty cold temperatures today. Right now, looking at 44 degrees for our temperature at the moment under mostly cloudy skies for most of the region. We do have a small chance of seeing some drizzle out there, mainly in our southern counties, like down here toward Ripley. Right now, sitting at 46 degrees, 45 degrees in Marietta, and 43 degrees up in Cambridge. Most of this area will be staying dry except for these southern counties. Taking a look at precipcast, we have this rain shower moving through the area. We shouldn't see too much of it pushing too far north into Ohio. This is the tip of a cold front that's moving down south through the Virginia and North Carolina area and bringing a little bit of rain showers to the area. This shouldn't be too heavy. If you do see any type of rain down in these southern counties, it's going to be like a fine mist, not too much of a downpour. You shouldn't need an umbrella for it or anything. So if you're out there driving around, don't need to be concerned about anything whatsoever. Just slight mist that's going to be moving out into the overnight hours tonight and into most of the day tomorrow as well. I'll have more details about that in a few minutes, Ben.
Thank you, Blake. The first trial stemming from the investigation of the slayings of 8 family members more than 3 years ago is set to begin in Ohio. Rita Newcomb isn't charged with any of the Roden family killings, but instead is accused of forgery, obstructing justice, and perjury. Her trial is scheduled to start today. The 66-year-old is the mother of Angela Wagner, one of the 4 suspects in the killings. Wagner's husband and 2 sons have also been charged and could face the death penalty if convicted. All have pleaded not guilty. The judge in the case is prohibiting lawyers and authorities involved from publicly discussing the case. Authorities announced a year ago that a custody dispute between the 2 families may have been the motive. West Virginia Governor Jim Justice attended a groundbreaking ceremony in Beckley for Facebook's plan to expand internet access in West Virginia. According to a news release from the governor's office, the social media company is building a network for broadband internet through the West Virginia subsidiary Middle Mile Infrastructure. The current plan will cover 275 miles and is part of Facebook's effort to install cable from Virginia to Ohio. A missing Roseville man was found dead in Coshocton County Saturday. Ernest Baker's body was found by a hunter in an open field near County Road 380. Baker was reportedly ginseng hunting on private property in Knox County with 2 other men. He was discovered about a mile from where he was reported missing. The Coshocton County Coroner's Office will assist in the investigation of Baker's death. For international students, celebrating the National Day of their country thousands of miles away from home is nothing less than special. Ohio University's Omani Student Association celebrated the National Day of Oman at the Baker Ballroom last week. WOUB reporter Aditya Sahasrabuddhe talked with organizers, and attendees to see how the event was put up.
The Omani Student Association at Ohio University celebrated Oman's independence from Portugal and its Sultan Qaboos bin Sayyid Al Sayyid's birthday. With people from multiple ethnicities in attendance, this event was a way for people to experience Omanian culture and its traditional customs.
The cultural experience, getting to know people that, like just being a traditional student in America, you're not exposed to that.
Apart from music, dance, and traditional Omanian food, 4 separate booths were set up to help people try out henna tattoo and traditional Omanian dresses. One of the major attractions of the event was the History and Culture booth. Free handbooks depicting the culture and heritage of Oman were provided to the attendees, whereas structures of old and new forts in Oman and household items like perfume holders and water containers were on display.
We use this to put water. These have different sizes and shapes. The feature of this is that they keep the water cold all the day.
Omani National Day is also a celebration of the Sultan Qaboos. This year marks his 49th year as the ruler of Oman. Omani students say celebrating a national event of this magnitude away from home helps them feel like they are back home.
It's important for us as Omanis to celebrate, to not be disconnected from our home. Like atmospheres like this brings back memories, you know.
Creating new connections and strengthening existing ones through food and sharing. For WOUB News Athens, I am Aditya Sahasrabuddhe.
Coming up, Americans give their opinions on the Trump impeachment inquiry, and protests in Hong Kong are violently escalating. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
The Hamptons are at the very east end of Long Island.
We have some of the wealthiest people on the planet.
And right in the middle of that, we have a Native American Indian reservation.
The Southampton Town Board has made massive efforts to protect their colonial sites, but they don't make an effort to help preserve our Native American sacred sites.
We have to live here together. Conscience Point.
Prison is here to punish us. It's not about rehabilitating. It just isn't.
This is a full-time, total commitment. When that door closes, you're at Bard College.
It's hard, it's difficult, but it's rewarding.
I gotta prove that I'm worthy of this.
They're trying to pay back to society.
It changes your whole outlook.
I realized I learned something. That is where transformation happens. That is what stops people from coming back to prison.
College Behind Bars, Monday, November 25th at 9/8 Central, only on PBS.
Being a bear takes a wide array of abilities to overcome life's obstacles. From finding food to raising a family. But bears have also found a way into our world. And with the next generation learning by example, their contact with us could be their biggest hurdle yet.
The news broadcasts a violent world.
But we may be living in the most peaceful era in human existence.
An investigation of archaeology to neuroscience, Baltimore to Iraq, Can science help reduce violence? Here are things that we could do.
We're really testing in the field.
The Violence Paradox
We're at war with ourselves.
on Nova.
The Supreme Court has temporarily blocked the release of President Donald Trump's taxes. His financial documents were set to be released Wednesday after a lower court opinion allowed a House subpoena to go forward. Trump had requested to block the subpoena. The White House said Monday that it would agree to a temporary stay to give justices more time to consider legal arguments. The Supreme Court has asked the House to respond to Trump's request by Thursday. And Americans are weighing in on the Ukraine controversy. According to an ABC News poll released Monday, 7 in 10 Americans think President Donald Trump's actions were wrong. 51% said he was wrong and deserves impeachment and removal from office. 13% said he was wrong but his actions weren't impeachable. 6% said they thought he was wrong and he should be impeached but not removed from office. 25% thought he didn't do anything wrong. House Democrats accused Trump of asking Ukraine to investigate his 2020 rival and former Vice President Joe Biden in exchange for U.S. military aid. On top of the impeachment inquiry, the Democrat-led House is now looking into if President Donald Trump lied to former special counsel Robert Mueller. The House's general counsel made the announcement in federal court today. Trump gave written answers to Mueller for the Russia probe, and Democrats want to know if he was truthful. This follows revelations from the Russia probe from longtime Trump advisor Roger Stone's trial this month. Former Trump deputy campaign chairman Rick Gates testified that Trump and Stone talked about forthcoming information that could help Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. That conversation allegedly happened as Stone was trying to get secret details about stolen Democratic documents that WikiLeaks had. The Mueller report shows Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort also apparently told the Mueller grand jury about Trump's 2016 approach to WikiLeaks. Protesters have been barricaded in Hong Kong Polytechnic University since Thursday as violent clashes with police escalate. Students are using a form of napalm to attack the police, who confirm that they are prepared to fire live rounds from assault rifles if needed. Police say the rule of law has been pushed to the brink of total collapse. Mandy Gaither has the latest.
Police in Hong Kong are pushing forward, trying to extract a group of protesters from Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Protesters have been barricaded inside the university since last Thursday as violence with police has continued to escalate. The campus in Kowloon is strategically placed next to the busiest harbor crossing connecting the city to Hong Kong Island. Protesters block the tunnel and are setting fires and throwing Molotov cocktails and other objects, trying to stop the police from advancing on the area.
It's very sad to see the school has been used as a weapon factory and an arsenal with all kinds of offensive weapons.
Protests on the island have been going on for months, ever since a controversial China extradition bill sparked marches across the city.
It's been more than 5 months that Hong Kong has been plunged into this chaotic and panic situation.
The bill was eventually suspended, sparking wider calls for democracy and an end to police brutality. Neither side looks to be ready to back down, and attempts for dialogue between the government and protesters have so far failed. As the unrest continues, a government official says next week's elections may not even happen.
Continuing this rampage is a lose-lose situation for Hong Kong.
I'm Mandy Gaither reporting.
If you're traveling for Thanksgiving, we have some tips on how to save some dough. That story's still ahead.
And we might have a rainy couple of days ahead, but we're looking at a warm-up as well. I have more details about that next on Newswatch. But first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
Prison is here to punish us. It's not about rehabilitating. It just isn't.
This is a full-time, total commitment. When that door closes, you're at Bard College.
It's hard, it's difficult, but it's rewarding.
I gotta prove that I'm worthy of this.
They're trying to pay back to society.
It changes your whole outlook.
I realized I learned something. That is where transformation happens. That is what stops people from coming back to prison.
College Behind Bars, Monday, November 25th at 9/8 Central, only on PBS.
Sama. Sama, I made this film for you. Sama, I need you to understand what we are fighting for.
Word came to me late one night that a young woman was very ill. I started early next morning, the mercury down to 20 degrees below zero, and rode 6 miles to her house.
Meet the first Native American doctor and the women who follow in her footsteps.
The Hamptons are at the very east end of Long Island.
We have some of the wealthiest people on the planet.
And right in the middle of that, we have a Native American Indian reservation.
The Southampton Town Board has made massive efforts to protect their colonial sites, but they don't make an effort to help preserve our Native American sacred sites.
We have to live here together.
Conscience Point.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm your forecaster, Blake Courtesy. Right now in Athens, looking at 44 degrees out there. It's cooling down a little bit from what we had today. It's going to be mostly cloudy out there this evening as we go into the overnight hours tonight. We do have a chance of seeing a little bit of a small chance of some drizzle out there, mainly in southern counties. Down here in Ripley, looking at 46 degrees at the moment. 45 in Marietta, 44 up in Columbus, and 43 up in Cambridge. Looking at precipitations, this is what we're dealing with. Just a little bit of rain showers that the models are picking up. This is the top of a cold front that's moving through through Virginia and North Carolina at the moment, and we're seeing just a little bit of rain popping up on there. Nothing too heavy out there, mainly just a slight mist out there, now dissipating as we go into the overnight hours tonight. Tonight in Athens, looking at 35 degrees. It's going to be mostly cloudy night for most of the night, and we do have a chance of seeing some additional showers late this evening, early tomorrow morning, and we'll have a light wind out of the west of 0 to 5 miles per hour. Around the region tonight, looking at pretty similar conditions. Temperatures in the mid to lower 30s for most of the area. 37 degrees in Ironton, 38 for one spot down there in Ripley. 34 degrees in Newark and 32 degrees in Cambridge, just barely getting to that freezing point out there. All of us will be seeing those mostly cloudy conditions for most of the overnight hours tonight. But as we wake up tomorrow, 8 a.m., 35 degrees, taking the kids to the bus stop. It's going to be a cold and cloudy morning out there with a 20% chance of some seeing those rain showers. But that increases to 30% by noon, 43 degrees. We'll have a slight chance of those rain showers moving through the area. And by 4 p.m., 20% chance of rain. Those rain showers could continue into the evening time hours at 46 degrees. For precipitations tomorrow, this is what we're going to be dealing with. Not a total widespread rain shower. This is really light rain that the models are picking up. So if we do see any type of precipitation tomorrow, it's going to be fairly light, kind of more of a misty type of rain. Not really much of a day you need your umbrella. Just kind of misty. Not really sure how to deal with that when you're out walking around, a little bit misty on your glasses and whatnot. Overall, 46 degrees out there tomorrow in Athens. It's going to be a cloudy day out there. The main chance of seeing those rain showers is going to be in the afternoon time frame into the evening, and we'll have southwest wind of 0 to 5 miles per hour. Around the region tomorrow, looking at temperatures in the mid-40s for most of the area. 48 degrees in Jackson, 49 degrees down there in Ironton, and 44 up in Cambridge. While seeing cloudy conditions most of the day out there tomorrow, and again, those misty conditions lasting for a better part of the day. Looking forward to Wednesday, 81 degrees. The sunshine does return. It's going to be a partly sunny day out there. Slightly warmer out there, and we'll have west winds at 0 to 5 miles per hour. But as we go into Thursday, warming up to 57 degrees out there. But unfortunately, we are going to be seeing some rain showers returning for Thursday as well. That will last over into overnight Thursday into Friday, and looking at 50 degrees on your Friday. Warming up to, it's going to be cooling down to 47 degrees by Saturday. 40% chance of rain, and Sunday for the end of the weekend, 47 degrees and sunshine returning and warming up again to the lower 50s by Monday. Ben?
Yeah, Blake, you know, the Temperatures aren't too bad right now, but the rain isn't too happy for me. Or I'm not too happy to see the rain, I mean.
No, not really.
Yeah, at least the start of next week is looking a little bit better.
A lot better, yes.
Thank you for the forecast. If you're driving to your Thanksgiving Day destination, you're not alone. According to AAA, nearly 50 million people will be hitting the roadways. That's a nearly 3% increase over last year. And if you've chosen the more expensive option of flying, there are some tricks to save some cash. David Daniel has more in today's Consumer Watch.
Hitting the road for Turkey Day. That's what many Americans will be doing this year. According to AAA, nearly 50 million Americans will be traveling by car. Meanwhile, more than 4 million others will fly. And whether you're driving or flying, AAA says this is the second highest Thanksgiving travel volume since the agency began tracking in 2000, and the busiest since the record was set in 2005. This year's top 3 destinations are Orlando, Anaheim, and New York City. If you're taking to the skies, AAA recommends you fly out the Monday before the Thanksgiving travel rush, saying average tickets are cheaper. Or fly on the actual holiday. According to a report by Fair Compare, the most expensive days for Thanksgiving travel this year are Wednesday before the holiday and the Sunday after. Another tip, look for alternate or smaller airports outside a big city. You'll likely find cheaper tickets. Just beware of hidden fees. Another savings hack, bring your own snacks and entertainment. Food at airports and on the road is more expensive, so pack your own cheaper and healthier options. And a final tip, ditch the pricey hotels and look for alternatives. Go with a rental that has a kitchen. That way you can cook meals there instead of eating out. For Consumer Watch, I'm David Daniel.
Hi, I'm Thomas Garver. Coming up right after the break, it was a night to remember in Columbus for the Ohio women's basketball team. Coverage of Ohio and Ohio State, plus more when Newswatch returns.
Prison is here to punish us. It's not about rehabilitating. It just isn't.
This is a full-time, total commitment. When that door closes, you're at Bard College.
It's hard, it's difficult, but it's rewarding.
I gotta prove that I'm worthy of this.
They're trying to pay back to society.
It changes your whole outlook.
I realized I learned something. That is where transformation happens. That is what stops people from coming back to prison.
College Behind Bars, Monday, November 25th at 9/8 Central, only on PBS.
Word came to me late one night that a young woman was very ill. I started early next morning, the mercury down to 20 degrees below zero, and rode 6 miles to her house.
Meet the first Native American doctor and the women who follow in her footsteps.
The Hamptons are at the very east end of Long Island.
We have some of the wealthiest people on the planet.
And right in the middle of that, we have a Native American Indian reservation.
The Southampton Town Board has made massive efforts to protect their colonial sites, but they don't make an effort to help preserve our Native American sacred sites.
We have to live here together.
Conscience Point.
Summer.
Sama, I made this film for you. Sama, I need you to understand what we are fighting for.
It does. It's kind of like, we knew you didn't want to play us, and then you played us, and then we showed y'all why y'all didn't want to play us.
What an incredible scene from Value City Arena in Columbus Sunday night. Welcome back. I'm Thomas Garverick. Ohio and Ohio State played each other for the first time since 2004, and the Bobcats had never beaten the Buckeyes in their 12 previous meetings, but that no longer stands true. Incredible turnout from Bobcat alumni for their in-state matchup, and oh man, this thing came down the wire. Central Ohio native Imani Burke is what we like to call a game changer. Burke takes the contact, flips it in for the and one. She had a game-high 23 points. That's in the fourth quarter. Erica Johnson takes over. She scored 14 points, including this filthy step-back three. Ohio up 10. Then Johnson on the other end knocks the ball free, scoops it up, loses her glasses on the play. Doesn't matter. She finishes plus, watch this, the stare down. Biggest lead of the game for Ohio at 12, but here come the Buckeyes. Kirsten Bell steals the inbounds pass. She takes it straight to the 10. Floats it home to cut the deficit to 2. Buckeyes later tie the game at 68, but the Bobcats respond down the stretch. Up 4 late, here's the dagger. Johnson to Hooks for the easy 2, and for at least one afternoon, the Buckeye State turned into the Bobcat State. 74-68 Bobcats.
It's a big win for the program. We've been fortunate to beat some other Big Ten teams in the past couple years, but that's always kind of a feather in our cap, and we talk in recruiting and our players, like we're playing to win games. Like everybody we play, we're trying to beat.
I mean, we knew we wanted to win really bad. I mean, we got up, we got excited. I wouldn't say we lost focus, but we kind of lost our edge for a minute, and then a couple turnovers, and they're right back in the game, and we're like, either we're going to win this or we're going to lose this, and losing is not an option, so we just kind of drew the line there.
The Ohio volleyball team is getting hot at the right time. The Bobcats have won 3 straight at home, taking on Akron for senior night on Saturday, and Lizzie Stevens had her senior moment. It was her first game back from a foot injury. Ohio up 2-1. Stevens played the final 2 sets in this game. This is match point. How about this? Her final serve in the combo, a service ace to give Ohio their 4th straight win and the 5 seed in the MAC tournament next week.
I don't think I could have asked for a better ending to that game, and just knowing that it was the one thing that I could do, as that's pretty much the only way I can jump, so it meant a lot that I was able to contribute to the team again.
The 2019 season has not developed the way the Ohio football team had hoped. After back-to-back home losses to Miami and Western Michigan, the Bobcats are 4-6 and have been officially eliminated from a trip to Detroit. Frank Solich's contract is up on January 3rd of 2020, and Solich and Ohio have discussed a contract extension.
Yeah, there's been discussions. Mm-hmm.
You don't want to detail any of those discussions in front of us here today?
No, that'll eventually come out, and you can obviously go from there.
Ben, that was from Friday, and to clarify that right after, Frank did say that discussions with the team have gone well, but it's certainly going to be something to follow come the new year.
Yeah, be exciting to see where he goes. Thank you, Thomas. Treasure hunters salvaged hundreds of bottles of liquor from a ship that sank more than 100 years ago in the Baltic Sea. The SS Kairos was on its way from France to the Russian city of St. Petersburg when it was stopped and sunk by a German submarine in 1917. The large amount of liquor on board may have been for Tsar Nicholas II, Russia's ruler at the time. Teams recovered 600 bottles of De Hartmann and Company cognac and 300 bottles of Benedictine liqueur, a brand now owned by Bacardi. One crew leader says they don't know if the liquor is drinkable, but they eventually plan to sell the bottles. Now let's head back to Blake for a final look at weather.
Well, tonight in Athens, looking at cooling down pretty good bit, 35 degrees overnight tonight. We're going to remain mostly cloudy for most of the night tonight, and we do have a chance of seeing some showers out there late tonight and early tomorrow morning. 46 degrees out there for the day tomorrow. Chance of seeing some rain showers in the afternoon time frame. And as we go in the next several days, warming up to 57 degrees on Thursday and sunshine by the start of your next work week.
Thank you, Blake, and that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for joining us.
Support comes from Buckeye Hills Regional Council, offering services to help seniors in reviewing and choosing the right Medicare plan and coverage. Buckeye Hills counselors are available at 1-800-331-2644. Open enrollment continues through December 7th. Support comes from Goldsberry Wealth Strategies in Athens and Parkersburg, focusing on helping people achieve a life they dreamt of with a custom strategy. Raymond James Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC.
evening. I'm Amna Nawaz. Judy Woodruff is away.